This house is not good, Bobby. You are a poor person. Your son-in-law works in the Air Force and goes on missions every 2 days. It would not be right for you to stay home alone in this condition. I was a little surprised that day by the words of my neighbor. Although the woman looks beautiful, her tongue is black and misshapen. When I open my bedroom window and look, I can see the woman's balcony. But since I came here, I have seen that every door and window in her house is closed. Curtains are also hung on the windows. There are people inside the house, but it is difficult to guess from the outside. It has only been 2 weeks since my husband and I shifted to Gazipur. I grew up in Dhaka since I was little. So the tree-covered environment of Gazipur is completely new to me. Our house is neither very big nor very small. It is a 2-story house made of wood. My husband Tushar took the mortgage for the house at a very low price. There are no other houses in the vicinity except the house of my neighbor Nipa Bobby. The house is surrounded by a forest. At night, strange nocturnal birds call. My days pass by spending time indoors. How often do I spend time doing this and that? It's noon while I work alone. Snow comes in the afternoon. I have lunch and go back to work. Evening falls on my way back from work. I spend so much time with myself. It doesn't get boring. There is a kadam tree in front of my house. There is a swing under the tree. Sometimes in the afternoon, I go and sit on the swing. Sometimes I sit on the swing in the gentle breeze and hum a book. It feels good. Nipa Bobby sometimes comes to me. She tells me various unnatural stories about this house and place. I like ghost stories quite a lot. However, I don't believe in ghosts. But I accept and believe that jinn exist. This afternoon too, I came and sat on the swing. I just took a bath and sat outside to dry my hair. I brought Humayun Ahmed's Devi book with me. How many times have I read this book? It doesn't arouse any disrespect. How many months will you last, Bobby? Suddenly, I woke up with an unprepared voice. As I turned around, I saw Nipa Bobby. Hey, you. I was scared. And if you want, you can call me by my name. My name is Julfa. Nipa Bobby leaned against the kadam tree and said. For now, why don't you call me Bobby? Well, you didn't answer. How many months will you last? I glanced at the pages of the book and replied. 3 months. I've been here for 3 months. Bobby, who is there in your house? I mean, it's been a long time since I came. I haven't seen anyone except you. Where are your children? I don't have any children. But a child has many hobbies. Your child. Before I could say anything else, Tushar's voice came to my ear canal. As I looked away from the pages of the book and looked ahead, I saw Tushar standing there. Looking at the kadam tree, I saw that Nipa Bobby was nowhere to be found. Where did the old woman go? She was here a while ago. What are you doing here at such a time of day? You don't know, you have to make many choices at such a time. Let's go home. I went home with Tushar without answering. However, there was only one question that kept repeating in my mind: where did Nipa Bobby go? The incident began that day. In the middle of the night, I suddenly felt a severe stomach ache and woke up. I thought I would wake Tushar. But I didn't want to wake him up for this small reason. How hard the man worked all day. It must have been 2:35 by the clock. I got out of bed and went downstairs. I went to the kitchen. I took cold water out of the fridge and drank it. Suddenly I felt like someone was sitting in the drawing room. Something was making a noise. My eyebrows furrowed in surprise. I had just passed in front of the drawing room. Didn't I see anyone then? I bravely started moving towards the drawing room. As I moved forward, the noise was increasing and the shadow of the person sitting on the sofa was also growing larger in the light of the dream light. As I got closer, I saw a black, furry cat. It was looking at me strangely and meowing. The noise of meowing was gone now. It must have been a mental illusion. Here's a cat. But how did it get into the house? Suddenly my eyes went to the window. I saw that the window was open. That meant that the window was not installed today. But I clearly remember that I had closed all the windows like every day in the afternoon. I didn't have to chase the cat away. It went out of the window by itself. Suddenly my eyes went to the scene outside the window. Something was visible. But I couldn't guess exactly what it was. Suddenly a strange, heavy voice came from behind me. "Will you give me your child?" My head suddenly throbbed in pain. Before I could look back, I fell to the ground. I don't remember what happened next. When I woke up in the morning, I saw Tushar sitting next to me. When I asked my husband about the night, he said, "I got up to go to the washroom. Suddenly I saw that you were not there. When I came down to look for you, I saw you lying on the floor of the drawing room. Then what else? I picked you up and brought you to the room. Tell me what happened." I couldn't remember anything. So I tried to answer, but I couldn't say anything to Tushar. But one thing still rings in my ears. "Will you give me your child?" Today, I have completed 1 month in this house. Nothing much has happened to me in this 1 month. Everything was normal. Tomorrow morning Tushar will go to Kagrakari on a 3-day mission. These past few days, he has been looking for a girl in many places to take care of me 24 hours a day. To be with me. But this is not Dhaka city anymore. I wanted a person and I got a girl. Tushar didn't want to leave me alone. But what else could I do? It's a government job. In the afternoon, when I was going to get clothes from outside, I saw Nipa Bobby sneaking into the house from somewhere with a bag and papers. There was a small girl, a man and 2 old people with her. As soon as I said Bobby, she frowned at me. "Where are you coming from, Bobby? Where did you go with all this? It's been a month since you met your family members. The children don't even come out in the afternoon." Nipa Bobby's forehead creased this time. She looked at my house once and then said, "How do you know me? How did you know my name? And I couldn't recognize you properly. Who are you?" I was completely confused by Nipa Bobby's words. What is she saying? How much have I felt for her since I came here? And today she is saying that she doesn't know me. Before I could ask her anything, the man who was with Bobby said to her, "Come here quickly, give me the house key. I don't know what has happened to the house in a month. This gem, bring the key from your mother." The little girl ran to Nipa Bobby to get the key. Nipa Bobby told the girl, "Go to your father. Mother is coming." Then she looked at me once and said, "We will talk later." Bobby left without waiting for my answer. As soon as she left, the man asked her in a soft voice, "Who is that woman? Are you coming to this house?" Everyone looked at me strangely. I felt quite alive. So without a moment's delay, I took my clothes and went inside the house. Tushar was at home. I told her everything. Her own mind was not working either. What else would she understand me? Now another question was buzzing in my head: why didn't Nipa Bobby recognize me? Or did she pretend not to recognize me for no reason? And Bobby doesn't have any children. But why did Bobby's style of speech make me feel like the little girl was her own? And why did that man call her Atiya? Her name is Nipa. In the evening, I made rabbit meat and rice bread. This is Tushar's favorite food during winter. My husband will be leaving tomorrow. I don't know what he eats these 3 days. So I did as much as I could. When I finished work and turned off the kitchen light to take a bowl of meat and bread and came out, a rotten smell hit my nose and hit me. I was about to vomit. Suddenly, there was a sound from the kitchen. It seemed like someone had removed the lid of the pot. After paying more attention, another strange sound rang in my ears. It seemed like someone was tearing everything apart and eating it. I quickly put the bowl of meat on the table and went into the kitchen. As soon as I turned on the light, I saw that there was nothing there. Everything was normal. No sound, that noise. I think horror movies are being watched a little too much these days. This is the effect of that. That night, I was most surprised. When I went to the kitchen at dinner time, I saw that there was not even a piece of meat in the meat pot. There was only soup lying on the floor of the pot. Strange things were happening one after another. Now a little fear started working inside me too. It is not possible for everything to be a human illusion all the time. After informing Tushar about the matter, he said, "It is already night. In the morning I have to go to Kagrakari again. Try a little for 3 days. If you see that everything is normal in 3 days, then it is good. Otherwise, I will bring Huzur back home and arrange a milad." I also agreed to it. Still, Tushar was quite worried about leaving me. So he called my younger brother-in-law and asked him to come here in a day or two. My mother-in-law will also come with him. I was a little happy to hear that. It is better for them to come here than to stay alone at home. Anyway, my in-laws and brother-in-law are supposed to come here by the end of the year. But brother-in-law has exams coming up soon, so everyone has decided that they will shift here at the end of the year. The next day, my day didn't go very well. I was feeling very sad about Tushar. A strange fear was also settling in my mind. That night, at 1:30 a.m., I was suddenly woken up by a loud noise. The night was good. I have another habit of feeling sleepy. Once I wake up, I don't fall asleep easily. Since Tushar is gone, my mind is feeling a bit confused. The whole day has been kind of dull today. I kept scrolling on Facebook with my phone in my hand for a while. Suddenly, Tushar called. At first, I was a little surprised. Why did he call so late at night? Then I thought that after working all day, he might be staying up late chatting with his friends. When Tushar answered the phone, he said, "Is everything okay?" And then the line went dead. Maybe it was a network problem. I got up and went to the balcony. Suddenly, when I looked at the swing, I felt like someone was humming with their feet. Hanging from the swing. A feminine voice. My body shuddered. While reciting Ayatul Kursi, I closed the balcony door and went to the room. I called Tushar several times, but the phone seemed to be switched off. I was very scared. Suddenly, a call came from an unknown number. As soon as I picked up the call, a vague voice came from the other side. The voice was cutting off. I thought maybe Tushar had called from someone else's number, seeing that there was a problem. The words sounded vague due to a network problem. After one call, no more calls came. So I didn't worry about such things anymore. I can't sleep. I'm still scared. I came to bed and recited prayers and tried to sleep. Suddenly, I felt a cool breath falling on my back. The sound of breathing gradually increased. It seemed like someone was lying right behind me. But that was impossible. Is there anyone in the house except me at this moment? I started reciting Ayatollah Kursi faster. I kept reciting as many prayers as came to mind. But the cool breeze of the breath still felt on my back. Now I try to turn back slowly, bending my neck while reciting the prayer. As I turn back, my eyes are filled with tears. All that comes out of my mouth in a vague voice is, "Nipa Bobby." Sparkles finished.